Hello everyone, today in this video we will talk about C programming statement. I am instructor Milan Gemire. After watching this presentation, you will learn about statement in C programming. To get started with this presentation, you do not need any prior knowledge of C programming. It's completely beginner friendly. To access the full playlist of C programming, the link is provided down in the description. Please don't forget to check it out. Also, please subscribe our YouTube channel and help it to grow. So let's get started with statement in C. What is a statement? A statement is the smallest unit of a code that perform an action or express an instruction in program. For example, here this is a small statement that is if statement. You can see here, if number is greater than 0, printf positive number. Here this if statement is a control statement. During the execution, it will check the condition and execute the instruction or the statement that is inside the given statement. Statements are divided into several types: control statement, expression statement, declaration statement, compound statement, null statement, and IO statement. In control statement, we will talk about decision-making statements, looping statements, jump statements. So let's get started with control statement first. So what is control statement? It is the statement help the computer to execute a certain logical statement. For example, this is code on execution. There are a bunch of codes that will execute on the first go. If some certain condition arises or some condition is encountered, then another set of code or the next code should be executed or do something or some other logic. Let us assume a butterfly that is flying over the code. It will first go to the first flower, for example, the first code. This is the first part of the code. It will continue to fly until it gets some conditions or some barriers. After that, it will fly over the next flower or next code, and it again execute the code in the serial manner or the procedure manner. It will decide whether to enable the control of the flow through a certain set of a statement or not, or it is used to direct the execution of statement under certain condition. So decision-making control statements. First is if statement. It is a simple statement that we will see in the C programming or any other programming language. It is used when the condition is only true. Here you can see, if this condition is true, then the statement 1 will be executed. And there is no else part in this statement. There is a false part. If this condition is not true, if it is false, then other statement will be executed. If the condition of the statement is true, then the statement under if block will be executed. So here it is a syntax. If inside the brackets condition and the statement. Else the control is transferred to the statement outside if block. Here's a simple program to demonstrate the if statement. As you know, include studio.h is a header file for C programming. Int main, this is the first entry point of the program. Int number, we have initialized the number as an integer variable and we have assigned the value that is 10. If number is greater than 5. Now here this is a statement. If the number is greater than 5. If 10 is greater than 5. Now by our perspective, it is true. So the statement printf the number is greater than 5 will be printed in our console. If that is not true, that is if the condition is false, then this outside the block will be printed. So this is quite simple statement in C programming. I think you got this. Now let's go to next statement, that is if else statement. By looking this flowchart, we can clearly see that how if else statement works. First of all, we will be encountered with the condition. There will be certain condition that will be either true or false. If the condition is true, the statement 1 will be executed. If it is false, or let's say else, in place of false, else, statement 2 will be executed. And after that, it will leave the block and go to other statement. Here you can see a bit different than if statement. we will also have the else part over here. Like inside the condition, there will be another part of the code that is else. If number is greater than 5, then it will print this. If it is not, or let's say else, then this is printed. After completing this block of code, then only it will go to next part of the code, that is outside the if else block. You got this. Now a bit higher, that is nested if else statement. The word nested itself very clearly defined. Outer if check its condition. The outer is if check its condition. That means here you can see first it will get one condition over here. After that it will have two result, either it's true or false. If true, the inner if or else execute based on the inner condition. Now after one condition there will be another condition. If true, also we will get a different condition, else false also we will get another condition. So after that we can have other conditions and continue its tree or hierarchy. If outer if is false, outer else will be executed. Outer else can have its own nested if else. Control flows through conditions sequentially. Here's a simple nested if statement program. You can see include studio.h, the main program. We have initialized number with 5 value. Now if number is greater than 5, yes, now it will go inside this loop. Now this will go inside the first statement. After that it encountered with another if, that is if number is less than 10, because after one if it is going to check another condition as well. The number is positive and less than 10. Now yes, it will be printed. So what is happening here is the first condition is checked, after that again the second condition is checked, third condition will be also in the same and similar manner, and it will continue how much it is required. So it's a nested if. The if statement will be inside the if statement, that is the nested if statement. Now let's go to if else if ladder statement. Decide among the multiple options. For example, if you get so many multiple options and you have to choose among them, then if else if ladder statement will be one helpful tool for you. Suppose there is a condition that will be true, then one statement will be executed, and after that it will go to the next statement if any other statement is in line. False, if the condition is false, then condition 2 will be checked. If it's true, the statement of condition 2 will be executed and it will go back again. If false, then it will go to another condition and again execute its statement and come to the next statement, and if that is also false, then the default statement will be executed. What is happening here is if the condition is true, one statement will be executed. If false, it will only check another statement or another condition. If it is false again, then it will go to the next condition and continue its execution. It is like the ladder. The first if condition is checked. If it is true, the corresponding block will be executed and the rest are skipped. If false, else if condition is checked. If no condition are true, the else block is executed. Here you can see one example that is very easy. First of all, we have initialized the marks with 85. If marks is greater than or equal to 90, then we have to print the grade is A. Else if 80, it will check for 80. Marks is greater or equal to 80, then it should be grade B and continue on. Grade F, that is fail. Now what happened? If the score is 85, then it will come under the else if this part, right? The first condition is check. Marks is greater than or equal to 90, then it's false. Then it will go to the next. Else if marks is greater than or equal to 80, then yeah, it's true. Now it will print grade B, and rest of this code will be skipped and it will come to the return 0 and the program stop. Now let's go to switch statement. Switch statement is used when you have multiple conditions to check, replacing a long chain of if-else statement. So previously we have seen the if-else statement that we have to go one by one and check one by one condition until we find our desired output. But in the switch case statement, this is completely solved. The switch expression is evaluated once and its value determines which case or which block it should execute. If no matching case is found, the default block is executed. Stop the executions of the remaining case block once it is found. In the flowchart, you can see the expression over here. One expression will be defined from here, and under that expression what we will put is we will put some options, that is case 1, 2, how many cases you want to put over there, to case n and default. Now if the expression is pointing to case number 2, that it will go directly to the case 2 and it will start executing its statement, and after that it will break the execution and it will terminate the switch statement. For example, here you can see the program int day equals to 3. Now we have initialized the day variable with 3 integer, switch day. Now what we are doing is we are giving an expression for day. This is 3. Now if the day become 3, right, the switch will read the value of day, that is 3. Now it will source the case. Now case 3 is day equals to 3. The case 3, then it will print Wednesday and it will break the program. If the input was randomly initialized as 1 to 4, no case will be matched and the default will be executed, that is invalid day, and finally it will stop the condition. Next is conditional operator. Conditional operator is also one of the statements we frequently use in our program. Add conditional code in our program will be very easy to solve a small condition. This is the syntax for conditional operator. Here you can see the condition and one question mark sign over here and expression 1, and we can see the colon and expression 2. Now what is mean by this? Let's go to the flowchart. First of all, we will get an expression 1, that is the condition. If the condition is true, the first part, so if true then question mark part, and if false then we will execute after the colon part. Now here you can see false, the part will get executed, true, the part will be executed, and we will redirect to another line of code after finishing this condition. Expression 1 executed if the condition is true, expression 2 executed if the condition is false. Let's see one example. Again, we took a number 10 and we have initialized character, that is result. Now here you can see result is equals to number is greater than 5. Now this is the condition, first condition. If now after this question mark greater than 5, after this colon less than or equal to 5, and we have printed the string, that is result. Here you can see number is greater than 5, 10 is greater than 5, yes, it's greater than 5. Then what will happen is after the question mark sign, the greater than 5 will be printed and this part will be left or skipped. Suppose the number is 3, it will leave this part and it is like a false condition. Then after this colon less than 5 is printed. You got this. This is really handy tool while we are writing a big code on C programming. We can frequently use this one line code in order to decrease our code length. Instead of writing if and else, if statements, we can write this very easily. That was the condition checking part. Now let's go to jump statement. Jump statement are used to transfer the control to a different part of the program suddenly or without following the normal flow. Inside jump statement, there are different type of statement. First, let's talk about go to statement. It allows the program to jump to some part of a code. Here you can see the flowchart. At this part, the program has started, and statement 1 we have labeled it with label 1, and statement 2 is with label 2, and level 3 for the statement 3. Now while executing the statement 1, we encountered go to level 3 condition. That is, we found go to statement pointing to level 3. Now what will happen is, as we have said, the program suddenly transfer its control to the different part. That is, it is transferring the control to level 3. Now after executing the statement 1, it will go to statement 3 and continue its execution. Useful in certain situations like error handling or exiting the complex loop. The error handling will be discussed in our later videos. If you want to directly learn error handling, you can check it in the description as well. If we want to take a control to our desired part of a program, we also use go to statement. Here you can see a small code of go to statement in C programming. Again, we initialize the number with -5. If number is less than 0, go to negative. Here we have use the go to statement. Now if number is less than 0, it's -5, yes, it's less than 0, then what happen is go to negative. Now it will jump to the negative level. The negative is not any keywords, but it is the level that we should match in order to use the go to statement. Here you can see the negative leveled in somewhere in the program. Now it will search for negative text that is negative. It will act as a pointer in the program that will point starting of the program onward. Printf, the number is negative, return 0. Now what happened is it transferred the control to this part. Now this is left as it is and executed never. Another is break statement, used to exit from loop or switch statement prematurely. Even if the condition or even if the loop statement or the execution is not completed, also it will exit in certain condition. Here in the flowchart you can see loop condition expression. If it is true, loop code will execute it, and if the break statement is encountered, it will leave the execution and go to another statement. If the statement is false, it will not go inside the condition, but it will execute its next statement. Here you can see a small example. This is the loop that we have created. Until now we have not studied about loop, but we will soon study in our part 2 the loop. So please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon on so that you will get the notification first when we upload the updates. Int main, for this is a for loop. We have initialize I as 1 and we are going to I less than or equal to 10. So 1 to 10 the loop will run, and in the each iteration what we are doing is we are increasing the I value. Now what is here? If I equal to 5. Now this is the condition. Then what we are doing is we are using a break statement over here and we are printing that 5. So what will happen over here? Like it will start the loop, and if the condition that is I equals to 5 arise, then it will break the loop. That is premature because the loop was expected to run until it hit the 10, that is its limit, but we are breaking it when we encountered the 5. Fifth iteration, and we have printed the I value, that is 5 of course, and we have exited from the loop. So this is the break statement that we may need in our program. When we are actually implementing the program in some projects, then we will learn even better. Now let's go to the continue statement. Continue statement skips the remaining code in a current loop iteration and move to the next iteration. You should know that inside the condition, if there are bunch of iteration, then we have to skip only one iteration, then we can use the continue statement. When we are inside the loop, if the condition is encountered and we have used the continue statement, then what will happen is it will skip that part of the iteration and move to next iteration. Here you can see it will be more clear by this example. For I is equals to 1 until 5 and I plus plus. If I equal to 3, continue. Now what happened is when the third iteration is running, it will skip that iteration and move to next, and we have printed I in every time. That is, it will print like 1, 2, but it will not print 3 because we have used the continue statement. It will just leave that 3 and move to end with 5. Now what happened is we have skipped one iteration that we want. That is, so this is a continuous statement which will be more useful in our project as well. Now the final return statement. Exit the current function and optionally return a value. Now this will be used while we are using in the function. Until now we have not studied about function, but it is way too easy. Here you can see the sum. This is a function. For now, let's not learn about a function, but what we want to be sure that it is returning the value of a plus b, right? So if the value of a plus b, that is like 3 plus 5, that is 3 plus 5 is 8, then we are returning that 8 value to the place where it is called, that is it will be stored in the result. So what is happening over here, it is transferring the control to this part, and the return statement will return the value or exit the function with the value. So this is quite easy for the statement part, but we will learn function in our later videos as well. This is it for the part 1. Do not forget to check out the part 2 for loop statements. Thank you. If you are watching till the end, do not forget to subscribe.